Do you guys ever feel so broke? Like, I woke up today with that exact realization. I'm just broke. I have no money. So I've been thinking recently about ways to actually make money. And that's when I was on my YouTube doom scroll as usual. When I found him, the savior, the Lord himself, Alex Hormozi. Man is a godsend, blessing us with immense business knowledge and how to make money in your 20s, which I guess I fit that criteria exactly. And you know what? He's just the most genuine person I've ever seen trying to help people get out of the situation. And as much as I would like to watch all 2,800 of his videos and counting, this would literally take me forever to watch. That's why today I'm taking on a massive challenge. I'm using AI to analyze as many Alex Hormozi videos as I possibly can to see if I can become a billionaire. If this challenge fails, we will risk out on missing key strategies that can be hidden within his videos. So let's see if AI can decode Alex Hormozi's wisdom and deliver the key to financial success. So, the first challenge, the sheer amount of videos that the guy has. Manually watching them, never going to happen, like never. My TikTok brain doesn't have the attention span for this anymore. So, I'm just gonna do it with Python. Here's how. So my original plan was to use PyTube, download the videos, and then plug it into some pre-existing code that I programmed using transcription software, right? So it would download the video, transcribe it, and then that would give me a transcript, which I can later analyze down the road. But this is where I hit my first major roadblock. Apparently, YouTube recently, with the server-side ads or whatever, changed their entire backend. Now PyTube won't download the videos anymore. And because I couldn't download the videos, I could have no way to access the transcript data, which is a disaster. I did a little bit more digging around, and turns out there's something called the YouTube API, which allows me to access YouTube videos directly. Surely this would work, I thought, but you know what? It didn't. Because although I could extract things like the title and the description and even some of the comments, I had no way to get the actual transcript out of it. And there was no way to download the actual video. Now I was sorta at my wit's end at this point, but then I did a simple Google search and it turns out there's some guy on the internet made a Python package that literally is called YouTube Transcript. So I launched that up and it worked. It was a victory, but it was also kind of soul crushing because, of how simple that was actually. Oh my god. Okay, so that wasn't a complete waste of time, thank God, because what I needed to do was use the YouTube API to basically plug in a channel ID, and then it will extract like a number of videos that can be sorted by most popular. But then there was another problem. It only gave me the top 50 videos. And that was when I thought, you know what, I'll just plug this into ChatGPT. And you know what, it worked. Hey, the future is here now. So at this point, I ran the code again. And, after waiting for like a solid 5 minutes, it returned me the transcript of exactly 510 videos. Now, according to Alex Hormozi's channel description, he has over 2,800. Do I know where the other 2,300 videos are? No, I have actually no idea. So I scroll through the bottom of this and it turns out the last video has like 100-ish views, which I assume to be a short. So, which means that, the YouTube API should be working correctly, but it's just not. At this point, I thought to myself, okay, at this point, there are two paths I can take. One, I could web scrape the entire homepage, or two, I can just leave it and be a lazy guy. And being the lazy guy that I am, I decided to leave it. You know what? 512 videos is actually a pretty good amount of videos, so I'm just gonna convince myself that that's the case. Now that I had the transcript data for all of the Alex Hormozi videos, you would expect a simple, easy ride from here on out, right? Wrong. Because this is when it hit me. The insane amount of money that this is gonna cost. I mean, think about it. Essentially, what I'm doing is taking a huge chunk of text, plugging it into ChatGPT and calling that API. And once I get a response, it's also going to output some text. Do it for 512 times, I'm out of money already. So I thought to myself, was there any way I could do this all for free? And that's when I turned to Hugging Face. So if you guys haven't heard about Hugging Face, it's essentially this AI hub where if you have any like sort of fundamentals in programming, you can literally just copy paste some of the models people have made and put on there for free for you to use. You can literally see all of them. So I went down to the summarizer section, and lo and behold, sort by most downloaded and you get a pretty good summarizer by Facebook. Or at least it's based on Facebook. I don't really know. Plugged that in, tried it out, and you know what? It turns out it's okay. Because what it essentially does is it's taking that entire chunk of text and just filtering out what's not important, which is like an okay method, but it also loses like a lot of nuance. So I thought to myself, well, that's that. I'm gonna leave that on the side just in case I need it. But at this point, I thought to myself, wait a minute, Hugging Face has GPT-2, and I could use GPT-2 as a summarizer for free. So I promptly plugged GPT-2 in, and here are the results. It's absolutely garbage. I mean, there was a reason why I guess nobody's heard of ChatGPT before ChatGPT 3. I mean, it's just bad. So after thinking about it some more, I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go to the good old trusty ChatGPT. And it's my lucky day because after ChatGPT 3.5, 4, and 4.0, they released 4.0 Mini, which is apparently supposed to be just as fast as 3.5 Turbo and just as good as 4, maybe a little less so, but 5 times cheaper than 3.5, which is ridiculous. Now with my puny brain, I plugged into my calculator and tried calculating the costs, and it turns out to be at most a reasonable price of $5. So 500 videos for about $5, that's actually not too bad. So I promptly took to my computer and started plugging everything in. I essentially just made a function that can accept the input of transcript and then plug that in, and then bing bang boom, ChatGPT 4.0 Mini, and then boom, output summary, done. After doing a brief test with one video and outputting an okay summary, I've decided, you know what, I'm gonna do it for all of them, all 500 videos. So I loaded it up into a for loop and pressed play. And there it goes, off to the races. Okay, so while my code is running, I wanted to talk about a few things. And the majority of which is actually just these API calls because oh my god. Granted, it's costing me like 1 cent for like 100 API calls. But at the end of the day, it's like crazy to me. Like I would spend $15 on a freaking Big Mac meal. But when it comes to API costs and spending like a single cent, oh my god, my heart. It's just heartbreaking. What can I? And as I clicked refresh every now and then, I saw my API cost skyrocket. Skyrocket! A pretty painful experience overall. It's gonna cost me an arm and a leg. That was a lie. It's not gonna cost me that much, but I would appreciate it if you threw a subscriber my way. We were approaching the end. 400, 500, 505 videos. And finally, 510 videos. All summarized, complete, and downloaded. All this condensed knowledge into one singular place. And you know what? A total of something that I didn't expect, with a total of 15 cents. That's right, 510 videos, 15 cents, all summarized. So I went to work reading every single piece of script out there, every single summary, and going through them one by one. 30 minutes later, here's what I found. And before I tell you the conclusions of all of this experiment, I just want to let you know when you're doing your own summaries like this. So the first thing to know is that using AI to summarize the content, or any content for that matter, you lose the specific nuances in the content. And I will explain to you with a simple analogy. Have you ever watched movie recaps by any chance? So think of it like that. So you know all the plot, every single plot that is gonna happen, and you get a good idea of what happened in that movie. It's great if you want to save the time. However, you miss out on like the emotions and the actual part that makes it watchable and enjoyable to watch. And summarizing content is like the exact same thing. You'll know what he was talking about in the video and get the main points out, but you miss all the little details that he goes into that makes it really stick with you. And that's kind of what I wanted to share between this entire experiment. So without further ado, here are the results. Now, before I give you my interpretation of it, I asked ChatGPT for one more summary. So I plugged in my summary into ChatGPT for another free summary, and here's what it spit out. According to ChatGPT, the 3 most important lessons are 1. The importance of sustainable habits for long-term success. 2. A structured approach to wealth creation. And 3, the value of convenience in personalized choices, whatever that means. Okay, the AI summary of the summaries was kind of mid, I'll be honest. I mean, ChatGPT did not do a great job. Here's what I found instead. So Alex Hormozi says a lot about creating wealth, how to start a business, and they all differ in what branch you're trying to take. But I guess there is this common thread between all of what he's saying. And this is what I feel like I've gathered from reading all his summaries that can be applicable to almost everything. And I'm sure you can get the same vibes from what he's saying throughout all his videos. So my personalized summary is 1. Alex Hormozi tells us to invest in ourselves, first and foremost. And what that means is in a lot of his videos, he tells us not to invest in stocks or anything, but rather if we're young, in 20s, and looking to invest in our own businesses, he strongly advises us to first learn. So spend money improving yourself, building yourself up, and gather the skills necessary to push forward. The second thing he always says is to work hard. And this is a message that's almost commonality through all the videos that he has. And he tells us to work hard because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters, right? You're not going to get to your destination by sitting on your ass. And the third lesson that I found through almost all his videos is perhaps my favorite one, and one that resonates with me personally a lot more, is the fact that you gotta just enjoy the grind sometimes. And this is more speaking with my own words, but at the end of the day, there's always a different goalpost once you've reached that first checkpoint. And there's always this urge to chase another one once you've kind of gotten to that first checkpoint. And perhaps the journey of life is all about that chasing rather than the destination. Okay, that sounds incredible.